Hello, everybody, and welcome to the ODTN use case steering call. As usual, the call is recorded and will be published on YouTube, so it's a public recorded call. First order of business that I want to discuss today is that there's a very good blog post about the trial that us as ODTN and a few other companies did in Peru in the past month. It's published by Wattstack, which is one of the partners. The link is in the agenda. Encourage everybody to take a look at it, and it highlights everything that was done, the ONOS port view that it's here, the successful completion of the trial, the different people that were involved, and the tip in inclusion of tip 2. So I think this is a very good milestone. I encourage everybody to take a look at it. If you have any questions, just let me know. If you want to try it out, let me know. It's here. It's also on LinkedIn if you guys are interested. Any questions? Okay, then if not, I'll go forward. I want to thank everybody for the great collaboration that was the demo at TIP Summit. So at TIP Summit, we demonstrated the ONOS plus GMPI integration and also ONOS controlling checklight devices composed of a topology of basically three nodes and two transponders. And we shown ONOS getting the end-to-end path, power modulation, and wavelength from GMPI and installing it over the network. There is a video of such demo that I plan to put together with some slides, do a voiceover, and then publish in the upcoming weeks whenever I have some time. The demo went very well. There was a lot of traction at the ONF booth. That is a picture of the ONF booth. Present at the booth, it was me, Sean from ONF, Jan and his colleagues from Checklight. That I want to thank particularly for the great contribution. They moved the rack around. The demo worked flawlessly for 2 days, meaning that we never had to restart any single object in the demo, nor the devices, nor ONOS, nor GMPY. And we run the demo approximately something like 70 times during the span of 2 days, pushing and removing configuration with no issues. At the end of the show, this is an interesting trick. At the end of the show, we actually did a little bit of stress testing with hot swapping a few cards and pulling a few cables here and there, and we actually saw resiliency in terms of software and hardware, meaning that we were capable of keeping the end-to-end connection alive after relocating the cable or resetting the card. So that's very good. As I said, I'll be publishing a report through the video, basically, on that. TIP Summit in general was very well attended, and we also got a recognition as part as ONF and the ODTN project for the Peru trial on stage, thanks to the Victor and the team, in particular Scott, that put together a presentation for the Peru trial. I know Jan's on the call. Jan, do you want to say a few things that I missed? Did I miss anything? We seem not to be able to hear you. Okay, then maybe later. I also want to thank the whole OPT group, Stefan, Harald, and the CIMA group, and the Candy team that also published a report on the work that we did as ODTN within Telefonica, based on the ADVA open line system and the other transponders that we worked on in the past few months also. So I think that was a great success. I hope Jan can join later and maybe tell us a few things about what his point of view
Yes.
is. Oh, hey, Jan.
Hello, Andrea. Sorry, I was muted. Too many buttons. So first of all, thanks a lot for having us. I think that the demo was really, really awesome. And so yes, that's it. Thanks for having us. Thanks for a very nice collaboration. I think that it also shows the power of open source software and open source hardware. And I'm personally very happy that we got the opportunity to be as guests on your booth and to work together on on moving us one step forward towards full disaggregation. So thanks a lot.
Thanks. No, it was really good. It was really great. And based on that, we actually have published the code base of the demo. And for now, it's under Gerrit. So you can see the first patch, which is my patch on the GMPY integration. That's not this one. Not this one. This one. So this is the whole set of the whole code base that it's used was used as part of the demo to basically have an element in ONOS that connects to GMPY and retrieves the path, the modulation, the power, and the wavelength from GMPy, and parses it and uses it. It's not the best code ever. I have to say there are things that could be done better, at least, but this is at least a first integration. I think that I'm gonna go ahead and merge it since it passes tests. And then, based on this, we can start looking at possibly integrating the community to do some refactoring, some extending. We also have already some ideas. So if anybody has any thoughts on this code, please just do comment on it. The other piece of the code that we used in the demo that is not yet merged in the master branch is Jan's checklight drivers, and it's this patch over here. Jan, I placed a few comments in there. Jan, do you have any comments?
So first of all, thanks for the review. I do plan to have a few more sweeps over the code to address all of the comments which he raised. There is one thing in particular which I think we could improve. That's the caching of the actual power data that are being read from these devices. And but these are like minor technical issues which are easily solved. There are also some bits which will require some additions to the APIs within ONOS. For example, that stuff such as if the device has different capabilities of controlling the power at a given port, either, for example, each media channel, meaning each OCH separately, or all of them as a unit. That's something which probably will need some more design work. But yeah, I'm pretty much looking forward towards working with you on this one
That's
in terms
great.
of sharing feedback and testing.
Yep, thanks. And if anybody has any other comments on Jan's drivers, please feel free to submit them. I'll be very happy to see more discussion on those. Maybe Ivan, if you had some thoughts, we'll happy to review those. Um, okay. Um, any questions on this whole ecosystem that we did at Tip Summit? Okay. Last but not least, just saw the email. We are in the process of putting together a paper for an OFC demo, showcasing exactly what we did here in a more formal environment, showcasing a few results and a few other things. This was a conference, sorry, an industry conference, while OFC is also an academic conference. So we plan to publish a paper there. Thanks, Jan, for putting that together with the help of the Polytechnic of Turin guys. I'll be happy to review it. I just saw the email for anybody who is interested. Is this piece of paper here? I'll review it. I'll take a look and have suggestions, thoughts in the upcoming days. If we can modify it, I think we can still modify it, right?
I don't think so, but if it's accepted and if there is any feedback from reviewers, then we will have the opportunity. But unfortunately, it was a very tight deadline, and it is passed something like 15 minutes ago or something like that.
Okay, that's fine. I think it's good as is. I just did a first read. I had very minor comments. So thanks for putting that together. I hope it gets accepted so we can push the community even further. Okay, I think that was all on Tip Summit. Did I forget anything? Jan, anybody?
There was one thing I noticed that ONOS was also featured at booths of other companies which are active within ODTN. There was, for example, a presentation from STL, which appeared to be quite interesting. So I'm wondering where exactly everything will go and which parts of their work are going to be upstreamed. So it's just something
Um,
to follow and watch.
You bring up a good point. Yes, there was a demo from Sterlite that was featuring most of the code base from ODTN plus some announcements that they worked on. One of the announcements that they actually have contributed the day before the conference, and I have I've reviewed it after. It's the bit error rate integration, which we're going to talk about later. There is also some other work that they are doing in terms of UI and stuff like this that I discussed with Puneet what to do next. So I'll further the discussion with him. There are some pieces that they are interested in contributing. There are some pieces that they want to keep as their own intellectual property. So I think that there's still a lot of work that we can do together. So that was very good. I was very happy to see the Sterlite demo. We were also featured as ONF in general at the EdgeCore booth, thanks to the EdgeCore folks and the work we have done in many projects with EdgeCore. Think that was about it. We also announced, this is unrelated to ODTN, but I'll just say it. We also announced the collaboration with TIP expanding over millimeter wave and 5G RAN. So just to those two fields, we're going to collaborate closer with TIP. Okay. Anything else? Okay. If not, I'll go straight forward to the Bitero rate integration so we have a good follow-up. Thanks, Cheaton and group at Sterlite for putting this out. There is this patch here, sorry, this one, which includes a bit error rate behavior and a bit error rate REST API and an implementation for Cassini, which is based on OpenConfig. As I have done for the stuff that came in from checklight drivers and the cross connect command and my code, I've given a review of this. I know that guys at Sterlite are working on it. Chetan, do you have any update, any thoughts on the comments, anything you wanted to discuss?
So Andrea, we are working on that comments and we'll deliver the patch soon.
Okay, thanks. I think the implementation is good. There are just a few minor things here and there that I'd like to change. What we'll do is also we'll probably put together, but this is something for later. Probably put together a CLI command for this, but also extend it to have something in the UI to see the bit error rate pre and post spec immediately at the on the UI. So that's I think that's That's very good. That's a very good contribution. So thanks for that. Let's work on getting it merged. I think we can do it pretty soon, as soon as you guys fix the comments I made. I encourage everybody to take a look at this. So as far as I understand, in this, and this also is a way to the follow-up point on the consolidation of the driver. In here, the only related piece of code that is important for, and specific to Cassini and IP Infusion ONOS, is this piece of code here. So everything else is pure unplan and pure open-config. So basically what this is doing is getting the components to receive a state, and out of that state is reading the bit error rate. So I think this, except for this method in there, can be used by anybody. So I suggested that this is also something that basically gets split up into an abstract class and then a class that does the implementation just for the config, for the ONOS piece, and just like we're doing the driver consolidation. So that's something that we should take a look at in terms of what the implementation is. But if anybody is interested to try it out, as soon as it merged, please just do an implementation of your how to get the, basically this is the port name. This is the port name as it is specified in OpenConfig. And in the case of Cassini, it's XC1/1, C/1/1, sorry, NOE 1/1. It can be whatever. So what we'll do is that this is going to be an abstract method, just implement it and try it out. It should work on any OpenConfig capable transponder, and it's a big improvement, I think, on the capabilities of ODTN itself. So thanks for that. Any questions? No? Okay. Then yeah, please feel free to comment on the patch and see if it works also for your transponder. So next up is a driver consolidation. I don't think Kingston is on the call. No, I think not. But they sent me an email with a first consolidated flow programmable implementation. I'll ask them to upload it to Gerrit so that we can see what the actual code is. Everybody can take a look at it. I still have to take to dive into it. I just got it this morning, and I had not time to do it. But I think it's actually a good start, and it goes in the direction that we were talking. And I'll ask PLC Network to put this up for review on Gerrit, so everybody can take a look at it, and we can go back and forth on if this is the right implementation. I think there's a few people here that now know how the driver subsystem work. Me, Jan, Ivan, Chetan, the people also from Adva, because of the integration with their driver of the OLS. So I think we can have a productive discussion on that patch on how exactly we should consolidate. Any questions? No?
So for the yeah, hi Andrea, Chetan here. Yeah, so for the driver consolidation part, is there a link that I can go through to see what the entire activity is all about? Like, I'm
Okay.
a bit disconnected from it.
Yes. So there is. So what that is just in a few words. The idea is that now we have many implementation that use basically the same behavior
Okay.
and the same code and the same open config paths, but share a lot of the duplicate a lot of the code because we did not have a proper structure of the drivers to allow small differences in terms of like strings, for example, import names, as I was discussing in that bit error rate behavior. So there is an example of what we want to achieve, and that PLC network did an analysis on an Excel spreadsheet that is here. I'll put this link in the agenda. But basically, here is what they did, and the idea is going forward to do it with every driver, every behavior, is that they took a look at every method in this device description discovery, and they saw what the differences were and how this could be put together in one method, in one class, and only have small sections that are specific per device. So that's the idea. I'll make sure to add to make PLC Network upload the patch that they have for the Fluid programmable. So that basically is understandable for everybody to what it is, and that's kind of the idea. And I also and that's why I commented on your driver that we should do it like that, because right from now on we should have those hooks everybody can plug in without having to replicate all the code.
Yeah, yeah.
So if anybody's interested, that's the Excel spreadsheet. Anything else? Was that clear? Did I specify it right?
Yeah, yeah. It's clear now. Thanks.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So if anybody has any more comments, please follow that link. I'll make sure that they upload the patch, and we'll take a look at it together whenever we can. On another note, thanks Jan and thanks Ivan for the discussion that was put on the cross-connect command. Ivan, any update on that?
Hello, Tyler. Yes, I've seen all commands and did some and back. I implemented required things which we were discussing in comments, almost everything except putting the function for converting optical channel instance from to parameters and from parameters to the separate utilities. I didn't do it yet. I will do it in the next couple of days and download the update in Garrett as well. Thanks, by the way, Ian and Rev, for useful feedback.
Okay, that's great. It's great news. I also know that you're working on. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Thanks to Ivan. Thanks to Ivan for his code. It really made all of the testing much easier. So thanks a lot for it. It was really appreciated.
You're welcome.
I think that what we should do is also there was a piece of UI that had this functionality a while ago. We removed it because it was not working on GUI 2. So it's commented out. It's somewhere in the code base. I'll possibly look at putting that back in through the help of Sean, maybe. So that's something else that I want to work on also. So if anybody has any other comments, just feel free to put them on the patch here. Happy to take them, and I think Ivan is pretty responsive. Ivan, I know that you also did some testing on alarm-related things. It's a long time since I've touched that part of the code, but I wanted to know your opinion. Is it still working? Did you have to make a lot of changes to implement or see alarms in ONOS?
Well, right now I'm experimenting a lot, trying to find a unified to interact with alarms, but it's just a concept right now. I have some troubles, which I think I will discuss with you in offline. It relates to the implementation. Right now, it's just on a step of the concept more.
Okay, good. I'll be happy to see this part, because one element that was discussed at Tip Summit with the people from IP Infusion was that we have to include alarms in our UI within ONOS, and I think we have that capability. It's just a matter of making sure it works properly, and that we can still see alarms here and there in the code base. Again done with OpenConfig. So any work in there, it's much appreciated. So let me know how it works, and we'll take it offline for the stuff that we want to discuss for the alarms. Let's take it offline. Ivan. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'll ping you on Slack.
Absolutely. So I think I'm still targeting a 1st of January release with basically the stuff that we're working on here. I think everything is kind of getting close to getting merged, especially all of these things. I think that at that point we have a pretty good base to release. There's still the work that I have to put in for the multi-node TAPI work that I paused a long time ago, and I have not got back to it yet. TAPI works single instance. It has some problems in a multi-instance environment. I know what the problems are. It's just somewhat difficult to fix. So I hope I can get it done. If not, I'll maybe see and release it without the capability, or with a caveat that works only in single instance, which I think it's still okay. Any questions on that? Any thoughts? Okay. Then last update, there's still the patch from Alessio up there to have a consolidated flow group programmable for both the cross connect and the line configuration. I'll leave it up there. It's kind of needed for the. I had no time to take a look at it. It's kind of needed for the Metro Hall stuff that they plan to do. So I might look at just merging it, and just merging it for them, and just putting a do not use in production thing over it, because I have not yet fully tested it. If anybody has time to put in a pair of eyes on that patch, I'll be happy, and I'll thank him. But I do not have the time at the moment. So that's about it for myself. Is there anything else you guys wanted to discuss? I think that one of the next times I'll try and schedule a better discussion on the details that we found out about the integration between ONOS and GMPI, understanding exactly what the lacking pieces in ONOS are, and what the things that we can do in the future on our side, and what the lacking pieces that we could do better on the GMPI side. I had an overflow of stuff out of the conference, and I couldn't get time to sit down and actually put down a list that I have in my mind. But I'll try to do it and schedule it for one of the next discussions.
I got one question.
Yes.
It might have been related to what you just said about the intent on both sides or cross connect. Is there something in ONOS right now which is capable of configuring like both Ethernet and DWDM sides of a transponder?
So we have the capability to configure the client side of the transponder, yes. This command is called the behavior is called configurable transceiver, and it's managed by a CLI command that I forgot exactly the syntax of. So we have the capability to do it. It's done via CLI. It's not done via an intent, so it's not done as we have done in the UI in our demo. So it's not an end-to-end. It's just a single device, a single command that just make this cross connect happen from client to line side.
Thanks.
Just look for configurable transceiver. That is where I think you should start and see the CLI command. It's done via OpenConfig, but only some drivers support it, so not all of them. This was actually the first capability of ODTN, and since then we focused most on the optical side, and that capability was left a little behind. All of the existing drivers should support it. Yeah, just try it out if you're interested. What this patch does is that it takes it one step further, removing that configurable transceiver behavior and implementing the cross connect directly in the flow rule programmable. Basically, the flow rule programmable branches out when it receives a flow. If it receives a flow that it's targeted to a client-side port, it actually creates that cross-connect. If it's targeted to a line-side port, it's used for the wavelength configuration as we have done, for example, in our Tip Summit demo. So that's what that patch in particular, this patch in particular is, this one. And that is it's a good stepstone in the direction. It's a good, I think it's a good approach. The only issue is that it has to be tested strongly. It has to be verified against many devices. So I think that for now, since it works, because I've seen it working in a demo from the Metro Hall people, I am not against putting it inside the code base. But as I said before, I'm somewhat skeptical of using it now because I had not time to test it nor review it. That's kind of what it is. That makes sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Anything else, guys, that you want to discuss? Any other thoughts? Any other points that you might want to discuss with us in the call while we're all here?
Yeah, Andrea, for GNPI integration, do you have any like a design document or some reading material that we can go through?
Very good question. There is a presentation, which is this presentation, that it's both takes basically the idea of it's a little bit in depth on what it is in terms of integration. There is not a design document. I could put it together because it could help us also bringing it forward. So what I'll do is that I'll share this. There's also the demo slides that I'll put in here. There you go. These demo slides, and when it's ready, I'll publish the video. I'll try to start a design document on what was done up until now and the things that we still need to do. I think that is part of that work that I was telling you about before, that I did not have yet time to do after the demo, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Here. I'll share this with everybody. So please take a look at the presentations out of the conference. Okay. Anything else?
Thanks.
Okay. Then if not, thanks everybody for joining. I'll be publishing the recording of the meeting as usual. So if anybody missed anything, you can go take a look at it. And let's continue the great work. I want to thank personally everybody for every contribution that we're putting together. It's great, even though I'm just myself in ONF. This project is progressing very much. So thanks for that. Look forward to working closely on this side of things in the upcoming month. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right.